Hi and welcome everyone to this tutorial. So today I'm going to take you through the installation of Linux OS. So I'm assuming that you have a virtualization technology already in place. For me, I'm using Oracle VirtualBox. It is simple. Others can use VMware and the likes, but I have chosen Oracle VirtualBox. So I've installed it, and you can see I have other machines already installed. You can see Windows 7 and like Kali and then Debian and then Ubuntu, a whole lot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk us through the installation of a Linux from scratch, and what we are going to install is actually the Fedora distribution. So that is what I'm going to install for the purpose of this tutorial. So to start, I will click new on my VirtualBox. Then I'm going to give it a name. So the name I'm going to give it is Fedora, as you guessed, Fedora. So Fedora. That's what I'm going to install. And then I need to select an image, the image of the OS. So I'll go to, so you have to have the image already downloaded. You can go online, Google, and then you can download any Linux of your choice. Get the ISO image, the ISO file. So I've already downloaded my Fedora image. So I'll click on this drop down and go to other, and then I'll browse. So this is the Fedora DVD that I've downloaded. I'll click open, okay, and then the hardware, I can check the hardware, but the RAM is 2 gig already, and the hard drive is 15 gig. Let me increase the drive to 25 gig. So I'll change it to 25 gig. So 25 gig, and then I'll click finish. Okay. Then finish. I'll highlight the Fedora and then I click on start. So the machine will start booting up, and then the screen will come for us to start the installation. So the VM is powering up. Okay, as you can see, it's about loading. So I'll just press enter. We have install or upgrade Fedora, and I have troubleshooting, but I will choose the install so that I'll start from scratch. Okay, so then it will start loading. So let's wait for a while, and then we start the configuration for this installation. So it is asking us to test the disk, to test the disk, maybe if the disk is faulty. But now just skip this. I'll just use the arrows. So use the arrows. Okay, so I'm using the left and right arrows. Okay, then I'll press enter to skip. So when I press on the enter to skip, so now I'm moving to full screen mode. So as you can see, we have the Fedora, and then it is asking of the language that we will use. So English has been selected by default, so I'll click next. And then the keyboard, I'll use US English. And then what type of device will your installation involve? So it is asking us, is it going to be a basic storage device, installs or upgrades to typical types of storage devices? If you are not sure which option is right for you, this is probably it. Okay, so we are just going to do a basic storage device, not anything specialized. So I will click on next, and then it is asking us, okay, so the storage device below may contain data. So this is the size of the hard disk. It is telling us that it is asking us whether it should format the drive. Okay, so we will choose yes, discard any data, because it is just a new drive. Okay, so now what's the host name? So the host name, I'm going to give it okay, so let's maintain the VBox. So VBox user I'll add user to it. And then here, it is asking us to configure a network. Okay, so let me click on this one. Let me click on the network then, and then I will explain. Then I will explain. So if you are a bit into networking, you see we have wireless mobile broadband and stuff. So what I have is a wired network. Okay, so a wired network, and then if I double click on it, if I double click on the wired, it is going to bring up this screen. Okay, so I'm going to, since I'm not using wireless, I'm just going to my IPv4 settings. Okay, so now it is asking me if it should automatically use a DHCP. So DHCP, I will click manual. I will choose manual, and then I will enter my network. So my network, I have my address. So I'll use 192.168.1.151, and then my net mask is going to be 255.255.255, and then .0 for my net mask. And then my gateway is going to be 192.168.1.1. That is my gateway. That's my router IP address. Okay, so basically that's all. I'm not going to do an IPv6 configuration. I don't need that. So then I'll click on save. So I have configured my network from the start. Then I'll click on next. So I'll click on next. So let me close, and then I'll click on. So now it is asking me of my region. So I'm in Africa, so I'll just choose, I'm in Accra, Ghana, so I'll choose Accra, Africa. So this is my time zone. Then I'll click on next. And then the root is like the administrator when comparing Linux to Windows. So I'm going to use this simple password for my root just for the purpose of this tutorial. But if you are setting up in an organization, you need to have a very strong password. So just a simple password I'm going to use. Then I'll repeat the password. So I've repeated the password, and then I'll click on next. So it says that you have provided a weak password. It is based on a dictionary word, so I'll use it anyway. Okay, good. So this is where it is going to ask us to do. So we have types of installation. So it is telling us that, do you want us to use all the space? It is going to do that for us automatically. It is going to partition it, according to its own specifications. Okay, so it's going to use all the space. And then it's asking, the next one is replacing existing Linux systems. And then you have shrink current system, use free space. That is if there's a free space on your machine. So this is the create custom layout. This is where you choose a custom layout, for your specific needs. Okay, so if you are in an organization, maybe you have some, you have specific things that you do, then this is where you go. You must choose the create custom layout. Okay, maybe you have you are going to run Oracle, you are going to run other databases, you're going to do, then you need to do the custom layout. But for our purpose, I'm just going to say that use all the space. So it is going to partition it for us. Then I'll click on next. So now it is assuming, so now it is asking, should I write the changes to disk? All the changes that I've made, should it write it? I'll click on write to disk. Okay, so now it is creating the disk, it is formatting it, it is creating the swap, it is creating the temp, it is creating the /user /var, and then all that. So now if we come to this screen, it is asking us whether we'll be using a graphical desktop. Now graphical desktop gives you the desktop experience. You can see the desktop, and then you have your graphics and then stuff. For software development, okay, for software development, it is going to install some some packages. We call them packages, for your needs. So it will ask you to choose them, and then asking us if it's going to be a web server. Maybe you're going to install it for as a web server, or you want minimal installation. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with the graphical desktop. I'm going to go with graphical desktop, and then I'm going to use the installation repo. So let me see. So I'm not going to use any additional. So it asks me if I want to customize now. If I click on customize now, it will ask me to add some good. So for instance, desktop. So it is going to give me this desktop environment, this GNOME, and then applications. So what other applications do I need? So let me click on development. So the development tool. So development libraries is going to install 40 of, and then I have development tools, and then what else do I need? So it depends on what you need. But since I am a developer, I'm going to go along with all these things. Now I don't use Java, Java development, so I'm not going to do any Java development. But who knows? Let me choose Java development, and then I have I think base system. So the base system, I'm going to look for let me see the system tool. So the system tool is good. So I need the SMB, SMB, and then if you want to use virtualization, that is to just like I'm using the VirtualBox, to record this video. You can also choose virtualization. Linux comes with its own virtualization technology that you can use, but I'm not going to use that one. Then let me go to servers. Okay, so here you can choose your server that you want. So you can choose your DNS. That is if this machine is going to be used as a server. But I'm not going to use it as a server. I'll choose my SQL database because I might need it later. And then so everything is okay. Then I'll click on next. So now it is going to check the dependencies, and then it will start the installation. So when everything is done, it will start with the installation. It will give me the estimated time. So starting installation process. So this Fedora is very old. It's very, very old, but because of the tutorial purposes, I'm using this one. So this is Fedora 16. I believe now we should be somewhere Fedora 50 because this is quite old. I'm just guessing. Okay. So let's start loading. So now the installation has started. And it is installing 1,525 packages. So far we have done only 28 out of that, and it is still going. So what I will do is I will just pause, and then when the installation is complete, I'll come back and then we pick up from there.